In this video, you will learn how to manipulate more of the required elements on your homepage. For this tutorial, we're focused on the featured project section of your homepage. To get started, locate Pages on the left menu and then select All Pages. Now you'll need to locate and select your home page. Then select the Edit with Elementor blue button. This will open up the Elementor user interface. This is what you use to manipulate and build out all the pages on your digital portfolio website. For this tutorial, we're focused on changing this featured project section here on your homepage. You'll notice that there are several components. There's a background component, there is a header text component, then there are 3 callout boxes here, each with an image, title text, body text, and a call to action button. To get started, we're first going to change our background. To change the background, you'll want to select these 6 little dots in the tab that shows up when you mouse over this section. By clicking on that tab, the 6 little dots, the menu items change on the left. Now select Style. Under Style, you'll notice that for background type, you can select Classic, Gradient, or Background Video. For this exercise, we're going to use an image as our background image in this area. To source an image, I recommend going to unsplash.com. Open up a new tab and go to unsplash.com. Then search for images that would work well as background images. So you don't want it to be distracting in any way. So perhaps we can have some type of wood look, right? Or wood texture. That would be great. If we find some wood texture that would work well for our website, we'd want to select it. Once you've selected it, then you select Download Free. This downloads the picture directly to your local device. Click Save. Because these are high-resolution photos from unsplash.com, you'll need to resize the photo so that it is web-friendly and user-friendly. To do so, simply open up the photo in your Preview application. In Preview, you'll want to select Tools. Under Tools, select Adjust Size. Here you'll notice that it's 6.8 megabytes. That is far too large to have as a background image on our digital portfolio website. So under Custom, we want to change this to perhaps 1280 by 1040. That's still a very large image, but it's much smaller than the original 6.3 megabytes, as you can see here. Then select OK. Now we've resized our image to be web-friendly. Command S to save, or you can simply go up to File and then select Save. This saves the smaller version of the image. Let's navigate back to our website. In order to change this background image, we would select Classic here, and then under the image option, click the plus sign. Now we're ready to upload files. Click Upload Files, and then select Files. Now locate the picture that you just downloaded and open to upload it to your digital portfolio website. Once it's been uploaded, you'll see the blue check mark. Then in the bottom right, select Insert Media. This inserts that wooden picture in a background. A few other elements to point out would be positioning. Under the position option, it's default. You can change that to be top center or top right or bottom left and so forth. I'm going to use it default. Under attachment, by default, it's fixed. And fixed means when you scroll down, the image stays exactly where it is. It stays fixed to the background, and the content on top is what moves instead of the image. And that gives a really neat effect to the visitor who's visiting your website. However, you can change that to be default, and you'll notice that now that entire picture moves with the content. So it's really up to you, but that can be found under attachment. I'm going to go back to fix because I like the animation of having the picture fixed in the background and the content move on top. And then lastly, under size, you'll want to make sure that it says cover. because if you don't, instead select default, it's going to repeat the image multiple times. You can see how the image has been repeated here. So this is the actual image, and then a new image is tiled next to it. And we don't want that look. We want the image to cover the entire background of this particular element on our homepage. So to do so, under size, select cover. And now you can see that the image has been stretched to cover the entire background. The next thing that you'll want to do is you'll want to make sure that your title text here is in great contrast to whatever background image you just applied. So there's a few different ways that you can do that. First, you can apply a background overlay to the image. If you select the image and then background overlay, you'll notice that there is a color option here. If you select the color palette option, you can make the background overlay a really dark color, like let's say black, and then you can see how that darkens the image completely. You can also change it to something that is on your color palette, so maybe green is part of your color palette. So if you select green, you can see how that green overlay would look on top of your background image. For mine, I'm going to change it back to my army green in my color palette. So to do so, just copy the hex code for whatever color you would like to use and paste that hex code Command V into that space. Now you can see that brown overlay, or the army green overlay, on top of our brown wooden picture. Another way that you can increase contrast is by changing the actual text itself, the text color. So by default, it's this really white or close to white, soft gray text color. To change the color, simply click anywhere within the text box and you'll notice that the left menu changes. Select Style. Under Style, select Text Color. And here you can change the text color to be whatever you would like. Again, keep it consistent with the colors within your color palette. So again, if I open my color palette and I would like to select this bright orange, Command C to copy the hex code, navigate back to the website, and Command V to change it here. Now you'll notice that the text color has changed. I like the contrast that the soft gray provided with the wooden background, so I'm going to change that back to my soft gray color. And there you go. The other thing that you'll want to make sure that you change for the text for the title would be the typography. So when it's selected, hit Style and then Typography, select the Edit for typography, and then locate your text, whichever font family you decided to use for your header text, in the drop-down menu as you see here. Scroll through and find it, or if you know the name of it, which you should, you can simply locate that by starting to type it in the search field. And for me, you can see it's Josephine Sands, and I've typed JOS, and it already jumps down to that particular font. Okay, so make sure your fonts for your headers are consistently the same exact font. All right, the next component that we're going to manipulate would be one of these call-out boxes. Now I'm going to show you how to manipulate one, and that should teach you how to manipulate each one of these. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to want to change the title and the text. The featured projects here should be exactly that. Think back on your time at Full Sail about a project that you're really proud of. If that project was, say, your personal brand video, for instance, maybe you change this title text to personal brand video. Okay. Once you've changed the actual text, the copy that is in here, you'll want to select Style and then change the text color to be consistent with your text color, whatever fits your color palette. Use the hex code for it to be very precise throughout and consistent throughout your website. You'll also want to change the typography by selecting Typography Edit, then under Family, choose whichever one you have selected for your font family for all the headers throughout your website, and you're good to go. The other thing that I'll point out here would be under typography, you can actually change how your copy appears. And one way that you can do that is use the transform option. So under transform, instead of all uppercase, perhaps you want to use all lowercase. Maybe that's better suited for your personal brand. Or perhaps capitalize, which is simply capitalizing the first letter of each word. Or you can go again back to the uppercase, which changes everything to uppercase. Okay. You can also change the weight from bold to something a little bit smaller in weight. You can change the style to normal and italic and so forth. You can also change the decoration so you can place a line through, or you can place, you can also place a line on top or maybe a line underneath to add some decoration to your font. I would always recommend simplicity when it comes to web design. So keep it as simple as possible. The more decorations and styles that you include, the more complicated life becomes on the visitor. Okay. All right. So now we've changed our header text. We've also changed the color. We've also changed the font. And then you also want to make sure that you are including a little brief explanation of what this project entailed. So what was the personal brand video project? What did you use to complete it? So perhaps you used iMovie. Maybe you promoted it on YouTube and received 100,000 views within a week. Whatever the case may be, you can add detailed information here, but again, keep it concise into about 3 to 4 lines. I have some text prepared, so I'm going to copy that text and place it into this box to show you how to change it. Over here, once you've clicked into the text box, the left pane changes and you type in all of your text here, and that's what'll change it on the actual site. Okay, the next element that we want to change is the call to action button. You can see here it's a really obnoxious purple and gray, and that does not meet the Full Sail brand at all. So to change it, click anywhere in the call to action box, and you'll notice that the left pane changes. Instead of read more, we want them to watch the video. So we're going to put watch video here instead under text. Under the link, we're going to include a link to our video. So I'm just going to source one from YouTube real quick. This conference call should work. Source it by clicking share and then copy the link and then navigate back to your site and Command V to paste that link here. And then because they're going somewhere other than your website, use the little gauge next to the link field and select open in a new window. That way your website remains in one of the tabs for your visitor, and then a whole new tab or new window is opened for them to watch the video. Okay, next we're going to want to change the style of the call to action button. So we select style, and then the first thing that we're going to change is typography. We need that to read, in my case, it's Roboto, which would be the body font that I chose for my website. And then I'm also going to change the font color. So the text color needs to be in great contrast to the background color. I know that my call to action color is this action orange. So I'm going to Command C to copy that hex code. And then the background color, Command V to change it from that purple to the orange. The text color should be my very soft gray that I've chose to be in great contrast to the other colors. So here's my soft gray. Copy the hex code, navigate back to the site, and Command V to paste it. Now you can see that the background color to the button is my call to action orange, and the text is in great contrast with the soft gray. Now, when I mouse over or hover over the button, it changes to a black and a green. I don't want that. I want to change the hover color as well. So click hover, and then from the text color, we want to change that to the call to action orange. Copy that from my color palette, go back and Command V to paste it. And now when I hover over, you can see that it's that call to action orange that the text color changes to. But I also want to change the background color from the black to an accent orange. So this very soft orange color here, I'm going to Command C to copy that hex code, navigate back to my site, and Command V to paste it. And now watch what happens. When I mouse over, I get this really nice effect that changes my call to action orange button and light text color. I mouse over and the text color changes to the call to action orange, and the button almost fades into the background with the accent color. Okay, that's very on brand. I used all my colors from my color palette in order to create that effect, and there's good contrast that's occurring. So it's user friendly in the sense that a user is going to be able to clearly read, watch video, and know what it is that we want them to do. Okay. All right. Now that we've changed that, the last thing that we need to do is change one of these, the image, right? So this image needs to correspond well with whatever it is that we've decided to put in this box. And so since this is talking about a personal brand video, if we go to Unsplash and perhaps look up video, let's see what shows up. Oh, very cool. I like this image here by Mr. Owens. And I select the image by download free. And I'm just going to rename it video. Click save to save it to my local device. Okay, this again is a very large image, high resolution, so we need to resize it. So let's open that image up by using our preview application on our Macs. Then you go to Tools and Adjust Size. Now, because the image is going to be used in a very small box, I do not need it to be large at all. So under the Fit Into, Custom is what it reads by default. We're going to want to select one of these very small sizes. So probably either the 640-480 or the 320-240. Either one of those will work. I am going to select the 640-480 option, and you'll notice that it changed from 5.4 megabytes to 63 kilobytes in size. That is excellent. We are happy with that, so we click OK. Command S to save our image as a small image. And now we can navigate back to our website. Okay, in order to change this image, you're going to want to select the little icon here in the top left. When you mouse over, there's two column icon. Select that and then click Style. Now, under Style, you'll notice that there is an image option. You want to delete the current image and then click the plus sign. Here, you'll want to upload files and then select Files. Then locate the photo that you just saved, and then click Open. Once it has been uploaded, you'll see the blue check, and it'll be highlighted. Select Insert Media, the blue button in the right, and now you'll notice that the image has been added. Okay, a few things that we'll want to make sure that we change is you can see here that the image has been added, but it doesn't look like the one that we uploaded. That's because it's positioned by default to be centered with the rest of the columns here. So under position, we want to change it from default to perhaps, let's start with center and see how that moves. You see how it moves to a nice center with our column? We like that. But you can also see if you did top center, if you did top right, you could see it move as you change the position, bottom center, and so forth. So we like how it looks centered. That centers the photograph, gets everything that we want the visitor to see within the box here. Okay, now that we have changed all of these elements, we need to make sure that we save our changes by selecting the Update button down at the bottom left here. It's the green Update button. We click that, and all of our changes have been saved. For you, you're going to want to go through and do these same changes in all three of these call out boxes. Bring the visitor to the project that you want them to see. If the project is located on your site, be sure that you're using that link. And if it's located off-site, like on slideshare.net or perhaps youtube.com or soundcloud.com, make sure that you're bringing the visitor directly to the content you want them to consume by linking your call to action button. And there you have it. Now you know how to manipulate the featured project section of your homepage.